as an ex-member of the Big Kids Foundation, what is it you want to hear from them about the foundation?
Oh man, that's a difficult question to answer, man. But I feel like I think I'd love to hear them say that it made an impact on who they are today and the decisions they're making going forward about society, about people, about being kind, about lifting up your brother, not letting them, fall on the wayside. And I think that's our mission, that's our goal. Like all of this stuff that we do it's all exciting. It's amazing. It's shiny, it's a lot of noise. It's great. But it's like our goal is to help create leaders and help young people understand that they are leaders, that they can lead, whether it's leading their family, leading their community, leading in business, leading in sport. You are leaders and you are an agent for change. Like you can do this. Like you are of value and you can bring value wherever you go. And this is something that we are trying to push forward with everything that we do.
Welcome back to another episode of Georgeonsports with me, your host, George. And I'm so excited to say that on today's show, I'm joined by none other than the main man, Shaninga of Big Kids Foundation, the founder, the chief, the top man. Shaninga, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm really good. It's good to be with you, George, man.
This is something I've wanted to do for a while. I obviously know of you and Big Kids, and as many people already do. But I think it's time we shine some more light. I don't say the light because you guys have been shining as it is, but some more light on what you're doing with the Big Kids and the whole foundation. But yeah. I want to take things back to the very start, and by that I mean you. So
wow.
Before we talk about Big Kids and what it is you guys do, for those who don't already know. Tell us about you. What is it what is your background? What is it you used to do before Big Kids? And how whatever it is you used to do has sort of, I guess, prepared you or enabled you to go ahead and make Big Kids what it is today?
Cool, man. Yeah, so I'm Shaninga. I was born in Zimbabwe. Moved here when I was 12 years old, which was an interesting experience. And then Big Kid has been a part of my life, I think, from when I was 18. So I went to a school called Wimbledon College in Merton, and while I was at the school, I was the first black head boy of the school. And I remember having a conversation with my dad, and he was just like, "Look, man, you need to leave a legacy." So the word legacy's been a part of my existence for a long time. So whenever we run projects or we do anything, I'm always thinking, what's the legacy that we're going to leave here? What's this, how do we make this sustainable? And while I was in sixth form, we worked with a couple of guys to start a mentoring program for a group of year 9 students at the time who were at risk of permanent exclusion. So these kids were just, badly behaved. They had loads of kind of attendance issues and behavioral issues. And we decided to take it upon ourselves as sixth formers to kind of put together a group of mentors who are going to help these kids stay in school. And this is before, I'm going to tell my age now. This is like 99, 2000. So this was before, schools have got pastoral care systems as they have now. So we were kind of ahead of our time here, and we were young, but it was quite an intense period. So we worked with these kids like every day, from every break time, for the whole 2 years that we were there, and we found out a lot of things about them. So a lot of them were their brothers were in gangs, brothers were in prison, they were doing house robberies, they were doing just a whole bunch of crazy things that the school just wasn't aware of, and we were like these positive role models who kind of understood them and were willing to stand beside them and just listen to their stories and try and advise and guide them as best we could. And that's where the bug for kind of social purpose, social impact came from. And, after sixth form, I went on to uni. And while I was at uni, I met a group of friends who, wanted to do music. And I was really into kind of multimedia music, film, just creative stuff. Which was totally against what my parents wanted me to do, because they,
Yeah.
African parents, it's a long day when you're trying to tell them you want to be a creative. So
Indeed.
it's they wanted me to get into medicine, and I was just like, I can't do that one. Sorry. So I moved into kind of multimedia and the kind of creative arts side of it, and met some guys. We decided to set up a rap group, and then we just started rapping and doing music for about 7 years. But while I was doing that, I told them about this kind of itch that needed scratching around social purpose, social impact, and making a difference. Not just making music for the sake of music, but how can we actually change people's lives, and how can we impact young people's lives? And while we'd gig, we'd kind of go to local estates, local youth clubs, and just talk to the kids and just try and be a positive influence as much as we could at the time. And to cut a long story short, after that we then met. We were kind of put forward for an award. Met a lady called Pauline Brumerhead, who suggested that we set ourselves up as a charity and we could get funding and we could do this full time. And we just weren't aware of the charitable sector. Third sector was just not even, I didn't know about it. Anytime, anyone mentioned charity, you think of WaterAid or Children in Need, like the big players in the game. So I didn't realize that there was, small to medium charities making a massive impact in local communities and local areas. So this was really interesting for us, and we kind of set ourselves up in 2008, and we've just been going ever since, to be honest.
And going very strongly at that too. I mean, 2008 to now is a hell of a journey, and we're going to get into some more of that, because the stuff that you guys are doing is just mind blowing. And I guess with that segue, Big Kids itself. Yeah. So let's assume now that the people watching and listening on whichever podcast platform don't know what Big Kid Foundation is about. Lay it all out on the line. Tell us all about Big Kids, and what exactly is it?
Cool. So Big Kid is a youth and community organization. We work with young people who are at risk of social exclusion. So that could be kids who are at risk of joining gangs, kids who are about to get kicked out of school, kids who are teen parents. There are a number of factors that will determine whether a young person is at risk of social exclusion. And our job is to try and minimize those factors as best we can. So we use a lot of different engagement tools, and we have a number of programs that we use to work with young people. One of those is our sports program. It's quite a big sports program. So we do flag American football, basketball, tennis, sailing. We send our kids to snow camp. We do a number of things. Whatever kids wanna engage with, we will try our best to run that program. And I think what's helped us have longevity is that when we run the programs, we try and run them as professionally and as excellently as we can, so we can give the young people a fair opportunity to take it on if they wanted to. If they don't want to, and they want to just come for social, then they can come, and it can be a social thing for them, and that's cool. Like we're on loads of social sessions for all of our programs, but we also have a kind of focus on, if kids want to take it to an elite level,
right,
what are the positive pathways towards that elite level, and how can we create those for them? So sport is a big part of what we do. Our flagship program is our Breaking Barriers leadership program. That's what we're really known for. The sports side has always been a big part of what we do. I love sport. I've always been into it. And when I get into any type of sport, I want to see how far I can take it. When we ran our football program, we had serious talks about forming ourselves as a football club. Yeah. And there's a thing called mission drift in the third sector, where, you can get distracted by something and it'll take you off your original mission. And we have to really check back and just be like, actually, we don't want to do that, because we are incredibly inclusive. And by setting up as a professional club in any sport, you then become exclusive, because you have to have trials, you have to have combines, you have to have all of this stuff in order to achieve the success you want to achieve. Whereas that's not our mission, that's not our vision, right? So sport is a big part of what we do. The Breaking Barriers program, that's our leadership program. We deliver that in schools to young people who are at risk of permanent exclusion. So these are your kids who are in year 9, year 8, who are about to get kicked out of school for behavioral issues, and we'll work with them to stay in school, stay on program, understand the value of education, as well as understand the value they bring to school. So it's about lifting them up and making them feel like, do you know what, you're great, you're a leader, you can achieve a lot here, and you are valued within this institution. You just need a bit of focus, you need some tools that will help you achieve the success that you need to achieve in school. And they do. Massively successful program. We have young people who, when we first meet them, are about to get kicked out. They've got like 46% attendance, finish the program on 100% attendance, become prefects, and you know, sitting on the student leadership board and stuff. So it's a really successful program. And then on top of that, something that kind of marries both the sports stuff and the leadership stuff is our mentoring program. So that one is in the community. We pair up young people with mentors who are professionals, and the idea is that they just help coach, guide them into making better decisions, and decisions about work and about education. And then in schools, these are the young people that have graduated from the leadership program. We train them to be mentors for the incoming year 7s who are struggling with high school and with the whole kind of like, it's so big, and you know, they might also have behavioral issues, or they might just feel overwhelmed by everything. So we then pair up these kids with the year 7s, and that becomes a really good one developmental tool for our year 9s, but also the year 7s feel like they've got a bigger, older friend in the school that can help them. So those are our 3 programs that we run. And we work across London. So at the moment, we're working across 9 boroughs in London, which is cool. We've got, you know, plans to grow and develop this into, you know, all across London, and then across the UK and then internationally as well. So, you know, this is where we are, and we've managed to kind of get where we are because just through organic growth. Like, we've not chased money. We just made a conscious decision to deliver excellently at whatever we do, however small. You know, if you get 2 kids show up to a session, deliver that session with excellence, make sure that those kids come back. And what usually happens is they go tell 2 more friends, who then go tell 2 more friends. And then before you know it, your sessions turn into, you got 100 kids showing up, and you're like, okay. You know, so it's not that complex. It's not complicated. It's fairly simple, but it's whether, you know, as an organization, you want to stick at it, and you're willing to put in the hard graft and be there when it's raining, when it's snowing, when the funding might not be there. Are you still going to be there for the kids? And you know, fortunately, we've got a great team that I work with who are just as dedicated as I am to the young people.
I mean, it's crazy how impressive everything is, because what you do is very, very effective. The whole tell a friend to tell a friend is extremely organic for you guys, and the proof is in the pudding. But something I picked up on through what you were saying and through what I've seen about your organization is there's a big sense of empowerment to the youth. When you speak about the year 9s, for example, helping each other out, I'm thinking back to my school years where something like that would have been great. You know, where you have someone says, not hold your hand as such, but hold your hand as such, because, you know, life isn't easy. Being a young person isn't easy, regardless of what people might think, especially being in school these days in particular. I remember back to when I was younger, we had a youth club in my area. In North London, it was called the Underground, and there were similar. I mean, we were able to take part in things like plumbing and repairs, industries that you might want to go in. But what I'm hearing from you is what the big kids are doing is tenfold. I mean, you guys, not only are you covering multiple boroughs, but you are empowering these young people to, you can do this, you know, regardless of your background, regardless of what experience you've had to date. And we know these days, you know, some people have some really, really unfortunate experiences, and being able to bring them along, I use that word again, empower them, give them the confidence to, you can do this, and it can make the change in so many ways for so many people, which is something that I just really wanted to highlight, because I see it day in, day out with the content, with the people that you work with, the people that you put on social media, some of the stories that you share as well for some of the people. It's crazy. I mean, essentially, they are ambassadors for the foundation. I mean, people look at the stories of where they come from, what they've done now. I mean, gosh, you guys have flown out to Vegas with some of the kids. It's just unreal stuff.
We've done a lot.
It does. But it leads me to another question. In terms of the foundation, what kind of obstacles and challenges do you guys face? Whether it's to be dealing with kids, or you mentioned one in particular, I think funding maybe one.
Yeah.
But what kind of challenges and obstacles do you guys tend to face?
Yeah, the biggest one is funding. It's convincing people that what we're doing is good enough for you to put your money down. Remember, and I always say this to the team, I say this to anyone who's willing to listen to me, like, I don't have a product I'm selling. So, I am essentially selling you the idea that young people need support and they need help. And if we don't help them, whatever issues you're seeing in society will end up coming to your door. And the third sector as a whole, this is what we do. We're here to kind of prop up the young people, or the people who might slip through the cracks, who the government might not be able to support, who parents might not be able to support, and who, in some cases, society just forgets about. And we're here to kind of prop them up, support them, and show them that, look, you might not have the support at home, you might not have the support in school, but we're here. We can be that family for you if you want it, if you need it. So funding is a big issue, but there are ways around that. You just have to be really creative about how you fundraise. We're working with cool brand partners who want to work with us. We've got Nike, we've got Joe Malone, we got the NFL, we got NBA.
Crazy, man.
I could go on, and then we've got corporate partners as well. And there's much to be said about the third sector going into the city and really engaging with the city on their level around funding the programs that we work in, because they work in the city, they make a ton of money from the city. The least they can do is support some of the work that we're trying to do in the city that they live in. So, and I have to say, majority of banks and law firms that we work with and corporates are really willing. They're willing to help us out. But it's also about kind of going to them with either a product. So we offer a service where we deliver team training days, where our young people, we give them jobs, to go out there and train these corporates in how to play flag football, running a team training day. We've got a corporate flag tournament coming up in the summer, and it basically, it's a fundraising event as well as an employment opportunity for our young people. So that's quite a different niche way of kind of trying to raise funds for what you do, as well as applying to trusts and foundations, as well as going and engaging with individual donors as well, whether it's on social media platforms or on a one-to-one situation. We have to go out there and kind of get this funding in place. The other thing as well is, we do a lot of our work in schools, and it's convincing schools that, we are on their side and we're trying to help them. And by them allowing us to come in and work with young people within their schools, the young people will be more engaged and more focused to actually learn. And surprisingly, a lot of schools don't see that. They don't buy into that idea, which is difficult.
I was going to say,
it's difficult and challenging. But not impossible. So again, you then have to be creative about how you get in there. It might be that we partner with a local authority, local council, or a partner organization that's already in the school, and then we'll go in and we deliver. Because for us, the end game is to get our product to young people, whether and that product is getting them to value themselves, getting them to understand how much value they can bring to school. So we just have to be more creative within third sector to really start engaging with these schools and fundraising in a slightly different way.
So you mentioned being creative. and trying to connect with people at schools to be able to pass a product on or get the product in front of their eyes. And I think one way that you guys do this really well is through your flag league now. I think this is your 5-on-5 flag that you play in London, which I have to say, Cage League looks incredible. And the thing is, I think a lot of people probably see it and think, younger people, I can ball out. It really isn't what people think. These guys are talented. They work hard and they know what they're doing. Just looking at flag football itself, I mean, I was there at one of the events, I think it was last year or the year before, where your kids played in front of Sadiq Khan with Sadiq Khan and Roger Goodell. And I touched on it earlier. You guys have pretty much just come back from Vegas. I mean, what on earth? This is. I'm kind of speechless because, you know, you're going from a big kid charity where you're trying to spread the word and give people this confidence, give the younger generation this confidence and empowerment. And then you're flying out to places like Vegas, going to the Super Bowl in Miami with these kids as well who have probably never flown in their life, some of them. Just touch on that element of, I think you touched on earlier, sport, how sport can be that unique factor that brings people together, be it the kids and the corporate or the kids and pro ballers.
Sport is massive, man. Sport has always been like, it's just been a big passion of mine. Sport and music are massive passions of mine, and they're levelers, you know. You could go to, you know, Kumasi in Ghana and play flag and bring kids from Peckham, and they'll be able to communicate playing football, playing American football, playing soccer, playing rugby, playing any sport, right? So sport has always been a big factor for us in terms of as a key and core engagement tool. You get a lot of you can get mass participation with sport, which is great. Through that, we're then able to do youth work and find out exactly where the kids are. You know, there's loads of great things that you get from sport in terms of team building, communication skills. You know all the great things that we get from playing a sport, right? One of the ones that's not spoken about a lot is social impact and how massive sport is when it comes to social impact and actually changing people's lives and changing communities and changing how they view themselves. For us, you know, I'm a hugely ambitious person. So for me, you know, when I come into a sport, I'm like, right, who's the best or where can we go? When we were introduced to American football, my experience of American football was watching the Super Bowl once a year. That was it. That's my experience of it. I just enjoyed the spectacle of it. I didn't know the rules. I was just like, this is cool. This is fun to watch, you know, halftime show and all of that stuff. So I've been doing that since I was like 19, but had no idea about the game just because I was just... Personally, I wasn't exposed to it in the UK. I didn't even know people played it in England until I met,
a lot of people don't know.
Some of you guys, right? Which is shocking to me, right? Because I'm just like, how can you not know? Why is it? It's almost like it's Britain's best kept secret, you know. And there's a rich history of American football in the UK, and not only that, you know, because we work with a lot of Black African Caribbean kids. And there is a rich history of Black American footballers in the UK, from the UK, who've gone on to do amazing and great things from the 80s all the way to now, which I had no idea about. And I was just like, okay, do you know what? This sport, what I loved about flag was that it was incredibly inclusive, right? We could, from day one, we can get boys and girls playing on the same team. You didn't really need to have crazy athletic ability. Everyone had a role, everyone had a position, and it's a complete team game. So if 2 or 3 players are just ball watching, falling asleep, it affects the whole team. So you have to get fully involved. You have to play. You have to do your role. You have to run your route. You got to do all of that stuff, which we loved. And we struggle to find with all our other sports. You know, football is highly technical. There's a whole culture around it. Trying to get boys and girls to play on the same team was always a struggle. So we ended up having to run 2 separate programs for that. Basketball, again, highly technical. If you don't know how to bounce a ball, shoot a ball, no one is picking you for the team, right? Nobody. All right. Tennis, again, it's an expensive sport. It's quite difficult. You know, you need a partner. You need someone who knows what they're doing. And then you need to get all the equipment. So with flag American football, when the NFL introduced it to us through Nike, we were like, this is dope. Like, this is something I can really get behind. And it was only after a good friend of mine, Jason Prison, who Jason,
CEO of Wheelchair Rugby now, I believe.
CEO of Wheelchair Rugby, GB Wheelchair Rugby, and he was at NFL at the time. When he came down with his team, and they ran a session for us, the staff. So it was a bunch of coaches, and then a couple of us members from the office. We all came down. Bro, I was sold. I was just like, I wish I had this sport when I was a kid. Who knows? I might have been in the NFL right now. I might be in the Super Bowl. Who knows, man?
Absolutely, bro. Never say never.
And it's like, I just thought, wow, this sport is amazing. It's so dynamic. It's the environment they created with the music and all of that, the Americana of it all, right? It was just like, we could sell this. This would work in urban areas in London.
Yeah.
And also what it allowed was for us to create our own culture around it, which you can't do with football and basketball. They've already got their cultures and they attract a certain type of young person. Whereas what we were trying to do is attract all of our young people, whether you're athletic, whether you're sporty, or whether you're a gamer and you're stuck in your room. We wanted to create an environment where everybody is welcome and there is a position for everybody. So we started playing this game. And again, I'm there going, right, how far can we take this? Beyond simply, just throwing a football around at Larkhill Park in Stockwell. After having run the initial 6-week pilot with Nike, where they then took 2 of our kids and sent them to Carolina to meet FA, which was huge. Again, that was big.
A big
deal. And then following that, we just decided, right, we're going to run our own session. We're going to continue running the sessions 1 day a week, and see how we go. And that session just grew and grew to us running our own flag team, joining BAFA, getting to the national finals 4 years in a row, being the best team in London, best team in London 4 years in a row, connecting with the South London Renegades, sending kids through straight to play a bit of contact over there. NFL Academy sets up. We're like, this is awesome. What? Let's send our kids. We got 3 of our kids in the first year NFL Academy was set up. We got 3 of our kids into the NFL Academy with 0 experience of American football. But what we are passionate and not to do too much bragging, but we're elite coaches. So we understand.
You got to wear it, man. It's there for all to see.
Our coaches are elite at what they do. They know how to pick talent, and they also know how to do the youth work side of it. So understand what drives you. How can we get the best out of you beyond the technical side of it? So they kind of came around these kids, pushed them straight through. And shout out to Coach Steve from South London Renegades, man. He's been awesome. So it's like we sent them straight through to NFL Academy. They went through there, and it was just like, awesome. Once that happened, we're then like, I'm there sitting going, do you know what? We've done the BAFA League, which is cool. Shout out to BAFA and Kenny and everybody
UK
over
Jukes,
there. Yeah. But actually, I want to do our own thing where it's different. We're going to make up our own rules. It's 5-a-side. You can play it at any cage in London, any 5-7-a-side cage. And it's going to be our vibe. It's going to be energy. And the thing is, it's a hard one to explain until you've experienced it.
Yeah.
And once you've experienced the energy that comes from these sessions, you will get hooked to this game. And a lot of people have. Like you mentioned earlier, we had Idris come down. He played. He got hooked straight away. FA, every time FA Obada comes down, he's one of our ambassadors and plays with us. Every time he comes back to London, he wants to come down. He comes down, he trains, he plays with us because it's so much fun and it's high impact, high energy. It doesn't matter your athletic ability. You will score a touchdown. You will get a tag and we will celebrate that tag as much as we celebrate touchdowns because it's just as important. And having a sport like this at our disposal just helps us reach a wider audience, get more young people who we couldn't reach before with our other sports. And it enables us to do what we do. And, our vision and our goal is to end youth violence. And we found that one of the best ways to do that is to get kids engaged in sport, engaged in other activities, and just tire them out where they don't have time to be mucking around, running around and playing cowboys and Indians on the roads. So, yeah. That's flag, man. Flag is a big deal for us, man.
It's a big deal. I mean, not only are they trying to make it an Olympic sport now for, I think, Olympics 2028, the Pro Bowl, like I mentioned, has changed now, where there's a lot more flag football. We saw the advert at the Super Bowl. I forget, her name escapes me.
Deanna,
that's
Flores.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, the inclusion, everything about it, it is going in the right direction. I mean, just to look back at you guys as a organisation, you mentioned Idris. Not only Idris, Colin Kaepernick, the NFL UK, NFL flag, FA, Russell Wilson, Jason Bell, Prince Charles, Prince Harry, Tiny Temper. You guys are quite literally doing it all. So, having said that, do you ever actually sit and look back at how far you guys have come?
That's a hard one to do, man, because we're so busy, man. The ship is moving. This ship is moving fast, my bro. We're trying to do international stuff. I just came off a call today with Ghana, and we're trying to do some stuff in Ghana with NFL UK and NFL Africa. And we're trying to really create something on the continent that rivals what's happening in Europe and in the States. So, you know, it's, for me, I feel like it's an amazing journey, man, and I embrace every single opportunity that we have, and I try not to, you know, just sit back too much and see where we come from. I just try to enjoy the moment I'm in right now, and embrace every single moment and every opportunity that comes my way. And it's all about just connecting with people. You know, like yourself, man, you've come a long way, my guy, and it's like, you know, man. I love what you do. I love it, man. I love it. Like it's a big deal. Like seeing people come through, and it all comes from, you know, just how you are as a person, and being able to connect with people, and being able to share your passion, and being kind, man, and just, you know, pushing that forward, pushing that narrative forward. We got a great, amazing ambassadors who support us. Phoebe Schechter, she's one of our ambassadors as well. DJ Semtex, you know, and huge, it's like these guys are coming along this journey because they believe in what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to change the world, man, and it's not easy, and it's tiring. You know, you don't get much sleep.
If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
There you go. So, you know, for us, it's like, you know, once a year, I'll sit back and I'll be like, cool, this is what we've done. This is what we've achieved. It's dope. It's amazing. And then in the same breath, I'm like, right, where can we go? How do we push this forward? How do we push the envelope? How do we get to the Pro Bowl? You know, that conversation started like at the last Pro Bowl. When I saw them go, I was just like, I'm going to go there next year.
That's got to happen. You got to manifest it, man.
Spoke it into existence. And then when I heard Team Ghana was going, I said, I'm definitely going to the Pro Bowl. I said, I need to witness the first African team to go to the national championships. I said, I have to witness this, man. And when I saw those kids, man, that was history. Those kids embraced that opportunity like I can't even describe it. I can't describe it. Like go watch the vlogs. I vlogged as much as I could.
People,
but there
please watch the vlogs. The vlogs are great, man. Watch them.
There were so many other opportunities, like so many other events and emotions that were happening throughout the whole thing. Shout out to Team UK. They represented us well. You know, they did a great job. The kids from Little Ealing, but those Ghana kids, man.
And just like for people who don't understand the significance, not only are they the first African, let's say, flag country to, they have pretty much, I'm sure, all of those kids probably never had a passport before, probably never flown on a plane before, and you've sent them straight to Vegas, and they're there showing up, they're dancing, they're celebrating, they're bringing all the different communities together: Australia, Mexico, UK. It just, you can't do anything but smile and see the joy.
Listen. Shout out to Afia from NFL UK, man. You know, this is part of her kind of passion to get this team Ghana, you know, where they're supposed to be, man, which is up there with everybody. This team they brought color, they brought noise. But not only that, they balled out. They were ballers. Like, they were committed. They were diving for flags, diving catches, TDs. They fought for everything. And they get to the semi-finals. To the semi-finals.
It's unbelievable.
Listen, they were just happy to be there. But they get to the semi-finals. They beat some significant teams. They beat an amazingly technical Japanese team who were, in my personal opinion, the best technical team there, period. Everything was on point. Their plays were, but when you come against them Africans,
you know,
them boys don't play. I was
That's
like,
it.
those guys were so unorthodox.
Yeah.
And they shut everything down. There was no window, man. And it's like they get to the semifinals to play against an extremely good Mexico team. And Mexico have got a rich history of flag. A million Mexicans play flag. They start playing from under 8s all the way up to adults.
A million
Mexicans play flag football, right?
Wow.
It is huge in Mexico. So for the Mexico national under 12 team to come, right, and score one touchdown against the Ghanaians without a conversion.
Volumes.
Without
Crazy.
a conversion, speaks volumes about where these kids have come from. Mind you, they've only played the game for 8 months.
Unbelievable. It's the very definition of grabbing an opportunity with both hands.
They were committed. They were so upset after that loss, right? But in typical African form, they just started singing, they started dancing, and they said, you know what? We're not going to get depressed about this, man. And they just, shout out to Francis, man. Like, she's one of the coordinators that took the Ghana team out. She was just like, nah, we can't have this. We can't have this. We need to shake this off. Come on, guys. They started singing. And when they started singing, the Mexico team came over. They were celebrating over there. They left their celebrations. They came over to the Ghana team, and they were just like, we need to get involved in this.
Amazing.
And it was just incredible. And I remember just talking to some of the organizers and the team, Ghana team. I said, we need more African teams here, man. Like, this vibe
100%.
that we've created. We were on the bus. Like, I got a video on my Instagram page of the kids on the bus with with Canada, Australia, UK, and Ghana on the bus, shucking out to Black Sheriff.
What?
And I said,
yeah. I've seen it, guys. Listen, honestly, go and watch that clip. Go and watch that clip.
That bus was parked outside the hotel for a hot minute. They had a full-on party on the bus, and they said, we're not leaving yet. We're not ready to leave yet. Those little Australian kids, they were just like, this is a vibe, man. So it was just, witnessing that, I was just like, I have to witness this because we've got a goal to really do some amazing pieces of work in Africa. You know, Africa is my passion. I was born there. I'm so passionate about Africa. I want to do... Man. Yeah, I want to do as much as I've done in the UK, in Africa as well. So, I was like, I have to witness this. And then we need to go back. We need to, get some footage together, start selling this program into other regions within the continent. And that's what we're aiming to do right now. And, we're hoping to work closely with NFL UK and NFL Africa on that piece of work. Yeah. Shout out to OC, man, for NFL Africa.
Big time. NFL Africa, people need to watch out because there's going to be a lot of developments coming soon with that one. But Shaninga, you mentioned a word there. You mentioned a goal. And I'm going to leave you with this to answer. Picture the scene. It's years down the line, 10, 15 years down the line, and you come across an ex-Big Kid or the ex-Big Kid spots you. What is it you would want them to say about the foundation, about how it is that the foundation helped them become what it is, whatever it is they're going to do? What words is it you'd love to hear from them as an ex-member of the Big Kids Foundation? What is it you want to hear from them about the foundation?
Oh man, that's a difficult question to answer, man. But I feel like I think I'd love to hear them say that it made an impact on who they are today and the decisions they're making going forward about society, about people, about being kind, about you lifting up your brother, not letting them, fall on the wayside. And I think that's our mission, that's our goal. Like all of this stuff that we do it's all exciting. It's amazing. It's shiny, it's a lot of noise. It's great. But it's like our goal is to help create leaders and help young people understand that they are leaders, that they can lead, whether it's leading their family, leading their community, leading in business, leading in sport. You are leaders and you are an agent for change. Like you can do this. Like you are of value and you can bring value wherever you go. And this is something that we are trying to push forward with everything that we do. And I think that would be amazing. That would just warm my heart. And I've heard that a couple of times for a lot of graduates. You know, we've been in this game for about 15 years now.
Yeah.
I've been doing this piece of work for about 22 years. So, you know, we've seen people come through. We've seen people graduate. We've seen young people get married. Young people have kids. And they've come back and gone, you know what, this is you guys made an impact, man. You know, you know, I just want to hear more and more of those stories, and you know, it warms my heart. It keeps me going.
You said it there. That phrase, I think I'm going to carry with me: an agent for change. That is something I think is gonna really stick out to me. But Shaninga, that brings us to the end of the episode.
Awesome.
What an episode! I mean. I don't even know where to start. Nuggets on nuggets, empowerment talk, inspiration, motivation. It's exactly what I wanted from this, and it's exactly what I thought I was going to get. So thank you for coming on the show. Again, I know how busy you guys are, always looking forward and planning the next thing. Tell the people where they can find some of your work.
Awesome, man. And can I just say, it's been an absolute pleasure, George, man. And I love seeing your growth. The stuff that you're doing with 888 Sport and those guys is huge. Georgeonsports, man. I love it. I want to see where you go, man. You know, I want to see you on Fox Sports, ESPN.
Never say never, my brother.
Let's get you there, my guy. Yeah, but yeah, people can catch us on Big Kid Foundation on Instagram, Big Kid Flag football page. Please follow that for all things flag. Shaninga Online, that's my personal Instagram page. I do a lot of vlogging, and I cover a lot of the things that we do as Big Kid as well. And then you can catch us on all the other platforms as Big Kid Foundation.
Don't forget to check out Big Kid Productions too, which is where you've got your
BGKD.
That's the one.
Yeah, BGKD Productions. That's a new piece of work that we're getting into. So yeah, have a look out for that. We've got loads of shows that are going to be coming up and stuff. Yeah.
Guys, I've been George from Georgeonsports, here with the main man, Shaninga, of the Big Kids Foundation. Until next time, we'll see you on the next episode. Stay safe and take care.